Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is our second video. Just a quick one. We're driving past. There's our good mate Nick Bundy over there. So a little one for later on. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, we're from Liverpool. Now, to be fair, if you didn't know that, you're really bad at accents. I'm just putting it out there, you're bad at accents. But anyway, when I was starting this channel, only a couple of weeks ago now, I was messaging Nick Bundy over Instagram. And Nick is a fellow electrician YouTuber who's got a great channel. You need to go and check Nick out. If there's some freak accident, you found my channel before you found his. It's probably the other way around. You probably already know Nick is, and possibly just, I don't know, maybe you haven't knocked YouTube off, and you started with a video about dogs and you just found me. But anyway, Nick's got a great channel. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. We're in Stratford today, well out of our normal jurisdiction, would you say, and it's like 2 hours out the way, a bit over 2 hours. We do a lot of insurance work for insurance companies, so it keeps us busy, keeps us, flying around everywhere. Small job really today, but I was just through messaging Nick and watching Nick's content on the internet, particularly on YouTube. I thought, I'm in Stratford, I'll have a little Google whereabouts Nick is, and literally the road I pulled out on to leave the job today, the main road, so I won't divulge where exactly it is, but the road I pulled out on, Nick's road was basically off that road. I had to drive past it, so we've just done a little detour up the road, and that's where you see we got the picture with the van. So yeah, anyway, but yeah, this video is going to be about I'm well aware there's people wanting to get in the industry, particularly it's getting that time of year where apprentices are starting off in college, and maybe you're somebody who's looking at maybe going into an apprenticeship and you want to know a little bit more. Basically, this is going to be a video about my journey so far and where I'm looking to go. So go and grab put the kettle on, grab a cup of tea, and don't think about leaving the house. Okay, so back in, I think it was 2004 now, end of 2004, probably about September, around this time, 2004, I left school. I was always pretty bright at school, and I had good grades and whatnot. Just going back to sixth form, things like that, just it wasn't for me. I always remember I done my religious studies GCSE exam. That was my last exam. Come out of the sports hall in school, got straight into the van, and obviously the boss was driving, but straight into the van. And I always remember the first job. We went to a nun's convent, and we were doing some sockets in a nun's convent. So it's just weird the way you remember certain things. But anyway, I was the chap I'd done my apprenticeship with, great company, never more than a couple of people in the company, but had a real variety of work. We used to do a lot of like the factory outlet type shops. There used to be a particular shop called MEX, MEXX, and we done them up and down the country, and we also done some over in Europe as well, which was a really good experience for a young lad. Bit of working away and things like that, and we had a lot of work back home, domestic, commercial, industrial. The fella's name was Paul, and I was with Paul got right the way through my apprenticeship, so it would have been 2004, 2000, I think 2009, I think I left him. I think it was 2009, 2010, around about that time. I come out my time, you're still within the same company that you served your time with. Back then, I didn't really appreciate this, but I think this is if you're an apprentice with a company, theory-wise, once you come out your time, I think it's really important to move away and get some experience with maybe some other companies. You can't buy experience. I think it's really important to go away from that. I've got a friend, Mark, and his company that he worked with and he'd done his apprenticeship with, he was with them for quite a few years after his apprenticeship, and he never really felt that he really got treated as an electrician. He was always looked on as the apprentice. So I think it's really important to move yourself away. Even if you've got a plan of coming back. Mark actually went back to that company, I think only last year, the year before, and everything was different because he'd been away, got some experience, he'd come back. Now, when I come out of my time, I was in a really sort of unfortunate situation where the recession was just hitting, and we were going through that really bad recession. Obviously I was young, so I don't remember the previous one. I remember me mum and me dad saying it was, it seemed to be worse than the one in the 80s and things like that. So yeah, as I say, 2009 was around the time, 2009, 2010 was around that time. I ended up finding a job with, I had a couple of companies I'd done a couple of months work for, and I'd come from a company that had really good work and a really good standard, and allowed me to make mistakes and to better myself and further myself. I went into, it was particularly the next two companies I went into, and it was like kitchen wiring for social housing and things like that. So you know the type of work, if you're an electrician in the industry, you know the type of work that you were getting, and I didn't see that company as being where I wanted to be at. The quality and the work ethic and things like that just wasn't there for me. It wasn't where I aligned myself as being. Now, because I was very green and very fresh-faced and stuff to the industry, just come out my time, as I say, maybe I wasn't at the level of where I thought I was at, but I certainly knew what level I wanted and what level I wanted to, I wanted to be as good at my job as what I could be. And at the time it was beggars can't be choosers, and I'd done this work with these couple of companies for a little while, and I was always actively looking for better work, and I got a job with a bigger outfit, a bigger private electrical outfit. Worked for them for a couple of years, got made redundant again from then. Work went a bit slack again. I think I'd done 2 spells there off and on. I'd done 2 spells, and again, that was a good learning curve, because the boss there was very fair, but he was also, he pushed you on materials and on time. So I'd say that's probably where I learned a bit of speed, which, although at the time it was quite a lot of pressure for a young electrician, it taught me things. So I learned a little bit of speed. I learned, what it's like in the real world, what people are expecting of you as an employee. And then after getting made redundant from the second time from the said company, I got put in front of a company that was basically taking on self-employed electricians. So I went self-employed. I was doing testing, things like that, on a self-employed basis. Really high volume of tests that got me experience with the ICRs, the electrical installation condition reports. And then I was talking to another electrician I know, another friend, and he's in my area at the minute, and he's actually got his own business, and he's a fellow electrician working. I don't like using the word competition, because I don't see other electricians as competition. I think we all bounce off each other, and all the electricians in my area are really good lads, and they all do really good jobs. And John, who I'm talking about now, he'd give me a phone call. He said, look, I've got a job for this. I'm on for the council at the minute doing electrical testing. They want another tester to come on board. All it is, testing all day long. Leave the cert on the fuse board, remedial team come behind you, rectify it, and they do the install cert. So went for an interview, got the job, and again, I wasn't really looking to sort of be there for long, should we say, but it was getting to the point where, at that early age, I already had itchy feet. I wanted my own company. I wanted to, this is what I wanted to be doing, but I ended up staying there for a number of years, and really excellent company to work for. They were actually the first company to ever win the Sunday Times Top 100 Companies to Work For 2 years in a row. Massive investments in people, great company to work for. I've done a lot of, I always used to self-fund my own electrical courses, but there was potential to go into the office and do some site managing. So I took it up, and I got some health and safety qualifications off them. So I went and done some health and safety courses. I'd done the IOSH Managing Safely and the SMSTS, which are both great courses. Some management courses like the CMI, things like that. As I say, fantastic company to work for. it was just, as I say, I had itchy feet. I really wanted to own me and run my own company and be my own boss. And I'd started it up on the side, and I was you know, completely loyal to the company I was working for, in terms of, you know, I give 100% every day. But I was, you know, an evening of a weekend, I was building up my own thing until I sort of left. And one thing I will always say, there's never a good time to, if you are somebody at the minute who's, so mainly, I mean, obviously this video is mainly geared to apprentices or people looking to get into the industry, but if you are maybe somebody who is in full-time employment as an electrician at the minute, and you are looking, I mean anyone for that matter, if you're in full-time employment at the minute and you're looking to run your own company, set up and go out on your own, be self-employed, whatever, you know, however you want to look at it, there is never a good time to do it. You will always wait on and think, I'll save this, I'll get this. There's never a good time to do it. It's, a lot of people said it to me, they said it's a leap of faith, and I never really got that. I had a resignation letter typed out by the computer, and it was dated for June. It was dated for end of July, it was, because I was actually getting married in July. So I had it for the end of July. I was going to get married, get past the wedding, all the money paid out for the wedding and whatnot, and then that's when I was going to make the jump. And it was about 6 months away, and I thought, if I give myself that window, I'm going to focus on it, and I'm going to be like, right, no matter what happens, I'm giving the letter in on that date, the date of it. Just didn't sign it, didn't take it in, obviously, and I had to buy the computer in the home office, and that was my date I was going for. How it transpired, I actually ended up leaving in the November before the wedding, which put a lot of ownership on me to make money straight from the bat, because, you know, I had a wedding to pay for, we had a mortgage, we just bought our house, we had a mortgage, had the car payments, you know, there was real stuff I had to pay for. So sometimes I think if you've got that around your neck, sometimes you work that bit harder, because you've got that fear in your mind, you know, I've got to make that, I've got to make bread, in other words. So you get out there. That was just my experience, and other people might say differently, but I don't think there's ever going to be a good time for you to jump on your own. I think it is a big leap of faith. I left that company a couple of years ago now, set up on my own. I've never looked back since. I absolutely love working for myself. I meet a lot of great clients, great customers. In terms of courses, what I've done, I was at a time where it was the City and Guilds 2330 I'd done, so it was like part 2 and part 3. I think some people had to do some maths and English, but as I said before, I always had really good grades in school, so the grades to get onto the apprenticeship were never really an issue. But once I'd done my apprenticeship, I went in, I think about a year later, to do my 2391, which is the testing and inspection. And at the time, around people my age in the industry, there was always that big, oh no, the 2391, it's, you know, it's a really hard test, and everyone used to brick themselves over it. And anyway, I passed the test, and it was, you know, at the, you know, the test and qualification. But having that test and qualification and having that testing experience is something that I'm really passionate on. I don't think you can walk out your 2391 without the experience of testing for a good while and just walk out and confidently do EICRs. At the end of the day, you're testing other people's work, and you're also pulling things that are issues. You might know, if you haven't got that experience, it's one thing, but if you haven't got that experience, I just think you need to build that up, really. So anyway, yeah, done the 2391. While I was working for the council doing the testing, I actually funded myself to go back and do the 2396, which is the design course. Absolutely fantastic course. If you're an electrician out there at the minute, if for nothing else, I mean, a lot of people do courses thinking, I want to do this course, get more pay out my employer. There was no scope, it wasn't adding no value to my employer. I wanted to do it for my own personal benefit and my own personal growth. And after I'd done that course, I felt so much more confident as an electrician. I think it made me a miles better electrician, you know, well better. I was more comfortable with cable calculations. I was more comfortable about navigating the regs. If I didn't know what something was, I knew where to go and find it. I know how to. The thing is, every regulation update that we've had since is you know, touch wood, it's been a doddle, because I know how to navigate the regs books. I know how to, you know, if it's about earthing, I know it's here. If it's about selection and erection, I know it's here. So you're in the right sections, and you're giving yourself a good shot anyway. And particularly with the design course, it is what it says on the tin. There's a lot of design in it, so you've got to design. I think mine was, my project was an electrical assessment centre, much like you are in when you're an apprentice. And there was lots of, like, there was all sorts that you had to apply to this project that you done. And yeah, it was really interesting, really good course. I'd definitely recommend it to any electricians looking to further themselves. Couple of years before that, I'd done the likes of me PAT testing. I'd done fire alarm courses, emergency lighting courses. I've always tried to do a good few courses a year to keep myself, you know, up to date with things. And I think it's really important in this industry, especially with the way that it's going at the minute. There's so many industries within our industry. You've got fire alarms, security alarms. You know, people have companies on just solely doing them, the scope of that work. You've got car charging now, you've got solar PV. There's a vast, I mean, home automation, that's another thing that's taken and going off there. People are running with that, and you've got successful companies getting set up left, right and centre, doing the smart home stuff, nothing but the smart home stuff. And yeah, I just think if you're not keeping up with everything, you can get left behind. You can really get left behind. Even if you're really going into a real niche within the industry, I think it is important to, you know, keep yourself ahead of the times and be further educating yourself, be reading. I mean, I'm constantly reading books, I'm constantly keeping up with other electricians, whether it's on Instagram, on YouTube, just seeing how they adopt. And it's about having an open mind and not thinking you're the best already. It's the amount of times that I've been sitting watching maybe a YouTube video of another electrician, I thought, that's a really good idea, I'm going to adopt that, I'm going to, you know, I'm going to do that. And that's the way the industry should be. It shouldn't be slagging an apprentice off on a forum on Facebook when he puts a picture of his first fuse board up asking for constructive criticism. It shouldn't be about that. It should be about raising the game, everybody helping each other out, raising the game, stopping this race to the bottom that we've all got, and raising the game. That's the way I see the industry, and that's the way I think it should be. So I think I touched on it before, but the company I was in doing the electrical testing, I went into the office and I was office based for about a year in total, site managing. So I looked after, it wasn't predominantly electricians, I looked after multi-skilled ops and you know, gas fitters when they come in, electricians when they come in, doing kitchens, bathrooms, wet rooms. And that was, it was, I'm not going to lie to you, it was quite stressful. I've always been a very confident person, and I've always been felt I was comfortable and I was good at anything that I'd ever turned my hand to. There's always been that element of confidence, not cockiness, confidence. There's a difference between that. And I felt a bit out of my depth at times. And I've done the courses, I've tried to be better than myself, been reading up on things, and I felt a little bit out of my depth. So when I decided to start running my own company, I realised that was a weakness, that was a flaw that I needed to brush up on. Look, I needed to do more around this area, and that's basically what I've done when I started for myself. And I've got a lot better at that as the couple of years have gone on. So 2015 is when they first incorporated STF, and as I said, I think it was about a year. I was working weekends and nights building up a client base in order to, you know, jump onto my own. And then it was round towards the end of 2016, November 2016 I think it was, that I went full-time in the business. Then got married because that was basically 2017, it's November, you have Christmas, a bit of time off at Christmas, and then it was like fresh start in January 2017. I got married in the July, the end of July. Obviously there was last year, I'd say, was the first real flat-out full year without any real interruptions, shall you say, in the business. And then obviously it's been this year, and I'll be honest with you, it's been a bit, I feel like it's been a bit stagnant this year. I feel as if like I need to up my game a little bit, and particularly in the last couple of weeks I've started doing a lot more. I've started the marketing, I've upped the game on the marketing. I've realised I need to pencil out my hours, I need to be more disciplined with my hours, so I've been getting up early, doing marketing hour in the morning. I'm committing to these YouTube videos for you guys. I'm looking to, you know, put regular content out there, and I mean, I've got a real passion when it comes to our industry that I'm seeing a lot of poor workmanship out there at the minute. There's a hell of a lot of poor workmanship, and look, it's not all down to these 6-week wonder courses. I've seen genuine time-served electricians doing poor work, and instead of this race to the bottom where we're all trying to undercut each other and just reduce price and do shoddy work because so-and-so down the road isn't putting SPDs in, so I'm not going to, you know, I can't charge £400 or £500 for a fuse board when someone's charging 200. It's a race to the bottom, it's a false economy, and we all need to start getting together, making the industry a better place, getting the quality there, having some real pride in our work. And so that's a little bit about what I'm about and where I'm looking to push forward with the company. I'm getting to the stage now where I've had the first real year where it's been a bit stagnant, so it's really my second year full time in the company. It's sort of, as I say, I feel it's a bit stagnant. I feel I could be doing more. So, especially with these YouTube videos, I feel like if I'm going to be saying something on camera to you guys, and then I don't follow through with it by the next video, you know, I've seen how the YouTube comments get. So, you know, there's a little bit of accountability, should I say, towards you know what I need to be doing. So that's good. That's sometimes when you're working on your own, it's easy to bury your head in the sand. You need a little bit of accountability. You need people out there that you're having a bit of a community with. Yeah, I just hope like these videos. This is the second video, as I say. I just hope that you're finding these useful. Maybe, as I say, that was more so for if you're an apprentice maybe coming into the industry, you can see like what my sort of career path has been so far. I think everybody, I really particularly enjoy hearing about other people's journeys. I'm a big sort of relationship guy. I like hearing what other people have been up to in their lives, you know, congratulating people for what they've done, giving them a pat on the back. I'm genuinely interested in what people are doing, and particularly let me know if you're in the industry, or even if you're not in the industry, let us know in the comments, like, you know, what your career path's been, what's been your highs and lows in your career. I mean, as I say, my highs have been, you know, I've done some work with great people, with some great electricians. I've had a good crack over the years, like working, as I say, away, and you know, working with some good products, working for, you know, like a Sunday Times top 100 companies to work for, the number one company to work for, starting my own business. I've had quite a lot of highs in my like short career so far. I think it's been about 15, 16 years, something like that. So far, I think it's a good bit of experience, but I still think that's relatively short in my book. So in my short career so far, you know, I think I've had a lot of highs, but I've also had some lows as well in terms of, you know, recession, being out of work and not being able to find work and things like that. So yeah, leave in the comments what's been your highs and your lows in your career so far, and yeah, so that's been a little bit about me, a little bit about what Scott Fitz's career path has been like so far, and what I'm up to, what my aims for in the future. I want to build STF into a real force in particularly our region. I really do appreciate now that, you know, I've got to bring people on board. I can't just be doing everything myself. It's it's very, very hard to be wearing all the caps within the business. You need to be able to take a little bit of a backseat. You know, I want to build a family here. I don't want to just have a team that's just churning out cheap work, cheap, nasty work. I want a real high quality team that blends together as a family, and that is ultimately what I'm aiming for with STF. So hopefully this channel is going to be a bit of a journey, and you can all follow me, and I can follow you, and you know it'll become a bit of a family on here. So yeah, that's been it for video number 2. Catch up with us next week for the next installment. See you guys. Don't forget to subscribe. It means a lot to us. See you next week.